Oh, and we're live for another episode of First Down Rams with me, Peo Time from the Rams Radar, and of course, my brilliant co-host, Rams House, from his own channel, Rams House. My friend, Rams House, how are you today?
Doing good. I think this is the best year to finish out 2025, head into
Yeah.
2026. Talking about some Rams. Obviously, Rams didn't have a great game on Monday night, didn't get the win that we wanted. But yeah, going to talk about that and then look ahead to playing the Cardinals this week, which we should see some starters there for, and get into our segment. So I'm excited. How are you?
Dude, I'm doing so good, and Happy New Year to you and everyone watching. And whether you're watching live with us now or on the replay, thank you so much for tuning on in and hanging out with us all season long here on First Down Rams. It's been, dude, it's literally made one of like the most fun things that I do on this YouTube platform is connecting with you every week that we do First Down Rams and people in the chat and things like that. So yeah, definitely rejoicing about that for 2025 and excited to continue it into 2026.
Yeah, I say the same, share the same sentiments. Honestly, couldn't think of a better person to do it with. So excited to be able to do this tonight with you and all of you guys in the chat. Thank you, all of the people who are tuning in here on a New Year's Eve to spend some time talking Rams.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, Happy New Year, everyone. We're gonna give some shout outs to people in the chat as they come on in. Feel free to ask any questions. We do our best to make you part of this show. We are First Down Rams, the show that talks about the Rams. Right?
Yeah.
If you come in here asking us about gardening or something, I don't know how much advice we can give there. So we'll probably
Yep.
just relate it back to the Rams somehow.
Honestly, as we should.
Yeah. Let's start off with some shout outs. We got Heather here thinking the Rams will win. I'm going to say in the game, but will win the game. Muabdib has apparently he has other priorities than talking about the enjoy the season finale of Stranger Things, Muabdib. Appreciate you, buddy. Bruce, it's funny we say that about Muabdib because he might watch the most Rams content of anyone on the internet.
I think he does.
I see him on every like Rams content creators platform.
Yeah.
Bruce, Happy New Year to you. Still haven't finished watching the game. Okay, no spoilers. Well, but actually there will be spoilers.
Yeah, we're gonna have to spoil it later when we talk about the game, unfortunately.
Daniel's here cheering on the Rams. We got Porter asking, are you guys worried 2 loss, maybe 3 heading into the playoffs? What went on top 1? Now we dropped to top 7. This is not a Super Bowl team anymore. So Porter clearly has some concerns. Rams says, what do you think about Porter's comment here?
Honestly, I'm not too concerned about this team. I think like they still have time to make the adjustments, and it was a weird game. In a weird game where you're missing a lot of players and just really not playing what we're accustomed to seeing, they still almost found a way to win. Yeah. And I'm just excited going to the playoffs because I've been saying this, like, I think Rams playoff football is different than regular season football. Yeah. There's different intensity in playoffs in general, but they also have plays saved, and we're going to be getting big names back like Devontae Adams, Quentin Lake, Kevin Dotson, and AJ Jackson, which are huge pieces. Yeah. And so I'm not honestly super concerned about this team right now. Did I expect the Rams to lose the game on Monday night? No, but I am not concerned going forward just because of the sample size of performances that the Rams have put out there this season.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. Akil, it's here. Good to see you. We got Lauren here. Says you will do playoffs, right? Absolutely. We're gonna totally do playoffs. Yeah, absolutely. You might see more Rams content from us during the playoffs, depending on how far.
Yeah. Excited.
Can you do this all the way to midnight? Probably not, Porter, because we're in different time zones.
Yeah, for you it'll be close to midnight.
Yeah, but we're definitely celebrating the new year. You know, what else would you want to do as like the last thing you do in 2025 besides talking Rams?
There's a few different things, but this is honestly up there for one of the things I want to do to finish off the year strong. Honestly, talking some Rams football with Peo.
Absolutely. ESG, good to see you. And Porter, we'll get to that question in a moment here, and just want to let's get right into just because that question has to do with what we're going to talk about later. Let's get into this. We're going to briefly touch on the game that happened on Monday Night Football. Let's call it like it is. The Falcons upset the Rams in prime time. What are your thoughts? Are you over the loss? Are you crying still? Have you lost all faith in the Rams? Have you gained more faith in them? And maybe you're like, reverse psychology, where it's like the pressures of privilege, pressure creates diamond, all the McVay-isms of like, adversity is a good thing, right? Like, and maybe that's just the Rams needed more adversity before heading into the playoffs.
Yeah, I would say just overall like thoughts from that game. I just finished crying before coming on here because no, I'm kidding. Honestly, it just felt like one of those weird games from the start. Like, oh, it's like one of these kinds of games. Like, it just something felt off about it from the start. I think the Falcons came out with a lot more like want to win this game, and their game plan was phenomenal. The Rams were they felt like they were sleepwalking a little bit, almost like feeling like they can stay in the game and come back eventually. And that ended up biting them, obviously. But for me, I was just kind of like, this game in the total spectrum of things doesn't mean a ton. I would have been really frustrated if the 1 seed was on the line and the Rams lost to the Falcons in the way that they did. But being that it's like, okay, maybe we drop from the 5th seed to the 6th seed, that's still not guaranteed. So maybe that happens. And yeah, our draft pick gets a little bit worse. But really, like, there wasn't a lot on the line in this game. As a fan, I wanted to win it, and I was frustrated that the comeback effort wasn't enough, especially with that crazy, like, Puka no-catch kind of thing that we saw there. But overall, again, it doesn't really change my expectations for this team. And I think another caveat, like, if the Rams went into this game and they lost the way that they did with all the starters in there, those key pieces, and they lost like that, I would have been a little bit more concerned. But I will say something that does surprise me about this game is like coming out after we talked about it a little bit, like, oh, is this one of those games the Rams just kind of wanted to move past, like experiment, try things out, like not putting their best foot forward to win as if there were like big things on the line. It did surprise me to see the response from Sean McVay in the press conference when he was like, he seemed fed up about it and was like, no, we're playing our starters next week. And that's a change of what he normally would do. And it's not like I thought McVay didn't want to win this game, but the way he responded to that, I was like, maybe this game wasn't as much what I was thinking of, like, we didn't want to win this one as bad. Like, I don't know. That part surprised me a little bit, but overall, grand scheme of things, frustrating to lose. It's just like, it's good that there really wasn't much of a change even after losing this game is kind of how I see it.
Yeah, no, I agree with your sentiments. I think for me, this game there's kind of the two narratives of this game, right? There's the macro narrative and the micro narrative, right? The macro narrative is, NFC playoff seeding. What's wrong with the Rams? They can't beat the Falcons. What? They're, things like that. But then there's these micro narratives of like, hey, Jared Verse blocked a field goal kick and returned it for a touchdown. That could be one of those plays that's like, a turning point really in Jared Verse's career of like, he's like, oh, Jared Verse learned block field goal. Like, right. We see that, happen more often, the Puka catch, right? Maybe that's the catch that Puka's like, I never want to drop another pass ever again. Right. Or maybe it's, just something as simple as, DJ Humphries getting more experience at left tackle, and if he has to play more left tackle in the playoffs for some reason, hopefully, Jackson's okay and he'll be good to go. And it does look like he's gearing towards playing on Sunday versus the Cardinals. So I have been thinking about it where, like, from a macro, narrative, there's a lot of overreaction. And I'm guilty of that myself. That's part of being a fandom, that you just sort of have that overreaction, being like, come on, like, you got to beat the Falcons. Come on, what are we doing?
Yeah.
But then when you kind of hone in on those micro narratives of like, okay, you know what? They dropped one to a Falcons team that's been playing good football, and they do have some really talented players, including a running back that might be the
Jeez,
best
yeah.
player in the NFL right now. And that win might actually say more about the Falcons than it does the Rams. That like Falcons, why are you struggling to have more than 8 wins with
Yeah.
a player like Bijan, right? Like, so I anyway, I digress. All this to say, I think that it's a loss that the Rams will take on the chin. They can move on from. And in my experience and your experience as a Rams fan, after a tough loss, sometimes you just need a Rams versus Cardinals game to get right back on track.
Honestly, no better point could be said there. Cardinals are like the perfect get right game. Unfortunately
Absolutely.
for them, it's yeah. I mean, again, you want to win that game. You don't end up winning that game. There were some positives to take out of it. Like ESG says here, even though Falcons special teams is awful, I still take it as a positive, and
Yeah.
that's something I don't think enough people are talking about from this game. Is the Rams special teams after firing Chase Blackburn the first game where he's not coordinating the special teams, like there was legitimate improvement there. You made every kick, which was good. You didn't really have to do a lot of kicks, but you did. You had a great punt by Ethan Evans that pinned him on the one or like a little bit inside the one. Really good execution. I felt like they covered well on kicks and on punts. And so that's definitely something to take like moving forward of okay, like this the special teams at least by first glance with their first little opportunity did look improved, and that is important, like even if people want to overlook it. And I think I don't know what your feeling was during the game. I know that you had your watch party and I caught a little bit of that here and there, but there was a feeling inside of me going into half down 21 nothing where I was like, I still feel like this Rams team can find a way to win this game and come back. And it's not just because they were playing the Falcons, but there was a feeling inside of me of like, I don't think this team's out of it, especially with Stafford. And they showed like they still almost came back and won this game. It was that close. There were a lot of different opportunities, different calls, maybe that didn't happen, whatever. But that is the encouraging thing. It's like, okay, like they didn't give up. It would have been embarrassing losing to the Falcons like 40-10 or
Yeah.
something. But they found a way to make a game out of it. They were able to stay in the thing, which was encouraging. And as I mentioned earlier, like this game wasn't super detrimental to lose, even though you'd like to win it. So definitely positives to take out of it and use moving forward for sure.
Yeah, and I think that when we look back at this season, if the Rams go on to win the Super Bowl, this game is going to get an afterthought. It's going to be like,
Right.
oh yeah, right. Like remember that Monday night game that like they lost to the Falcons? Oh yeah, but like they played horrible, but still almost
Yeah.
won it, right? Like
Yeah. Well, and it's like if you think back to that Super Bowl season, obviously everybody brings up no win November, all of
yeah,
that. We know that the Rams didn't win a game in November in the Super Bowl year. But even going back earlier in the year, it was like week 4, they played the Cardinals and got absolutely dismantled at
yeah,
home. It was like it was not even close in that game. And nobody remembers that from the Super Bowl year.
yeah,
So like as long as you can find a way to turn around and get some momentum going into the playoffs, win these games, that's really what's most important. It's not about your regular season record. And again, knowing that the 1 seed is out of the question, even if we won that game, we wouldn't have had it. I'm like, really, I don't care a ton who we play
yeah,
now that we know that we don't have the 1 seed. Like if we play the Bucks, we play the Panthers, or if we play the Eagles or the Bears, like I really don't care. I wouldn't want to play the Bears personally because that's like my dad's favorite team. So like
oh
it would be another one of those situations. But other than that, it's like I do think this Rams team can play against anybody, match up against anybody. And they, as you mentioned before, are one of the most consistent teams in the NFL. They showed that over this season. I think there's a lot of people jumping off of them because of this performance. But lastly, like from this game, probably the thing I'm most frustrated about or sad about in this game is Stafford's MVP case because as for me, I still think he should get the MVP. And if I were to give him a vote, I would still give it to him. But I think the national media seeing this kind of game in a national audience against the Falcons, where he throws 3 interceptions and Drake May probably won't collapse against the Dolphins this week. That's the one thing where I'm like, dang, like I hope Stafford didn't lose out the MVP because I want him to get that so bad just for him, the recognition he deserves. But that's really the part I'm most frustrated about.
that's fair. And I'm still not convinced Stafford lost the MVP in this game. I hope that it can be it can be reactionary for this week media cycle.
Yeah.
But then when it's actually time for getting your votes in from the people who have an MVP vote, they'll do their job right, and they'll compare the season narrative as a whole, and based on strength of scale. You've seen if you're a Rams fan on the internet, you've seen all the statistics. On Twitter, I know Jake Ellenbogen's been doing a good job. Tuna's been doing a good job, flying the Stafford flag. You got the strength of schedule argument. You got the overall passing touchdowns argument. There's actual quarterback play. I know that when it comes to QBR, Drake May has better, and I'm not refuting that Drake May doesn't have a case for MVP, but I do think when you match them up, Stafford this year is the most valuable player in the NFL. And I'm happy to admit my fan bias towards that. But if I can remove that bias, I think I would still think Stafford is the MVP. But all this to say, I'm not convinced he lost it because of this game.
And I hope you're right. I don't think from my perspective he should have. Mm-hmm. I'm just worried about the media narrative kind of stuff because we know they're quick to go off of Stafford if he has a bad game. And we know if you just take bias aside, you probably would want the young guy with the team that wasn't expected to do well to get the MVP because it came out of the blue. Yeah. And so I can understand where they're coming from. But I hope you and Joe are right that this probably doesn't change the media narrative of him. I'm just concerned that it did, but I hope I'm wrong on it.
Yeah, we'll see. And I honestly, even if he doesn't get it, he's MVP in our books, right? He's had statistically one of the greatest seasons a Rams quarterback has ever had. Probably the best, the greatest one. Really, it's his own 2021 campaign and Kurt Warner in '99. Those are what you're going up against, right? So, yeah. And the other thing, okay, I'm gonna talk about something kind of awkward here, man. Okay, I'm ready to talk about this. I did have the thought during my watch party, and I didn't say it. We don't know if Stafford's going to retire or not. I know myself and a lot of other Ram fans are pretty optimistic he comes back next year. We just don't know, right? And during the game, I thought, oh, now there's no way they're playing Stafford versus the Cardinals. And I was like, is this going to be the last regular season game we see Stafford in it, in horns? And so I'm totally on the Green Day Time of Your Life song tour. Of okay, every game might be the last game for Stafford, going into the playoffs, right? So I'm hoping he comes back next year. I do not want to get on the QB carousel search patrol or whatever. I'm a big fan of Matthew Stafford. I think he's one of the most talented quarterbacks in NFL history, but I am aware that you got to enjoy him while you have him, right? He has a lovely wife and daughters that I'm sure if he decided to hang up the cleats, he wouldn't have a good quality of life hanging out with them. So I just encourage everyone, similar to what Sheriff Joe's been saying, enjoy Stafford because we just don't know. We don't know.
Yeah, that's definitely been my focus on this season. I got to remind myself multiple times in a game of remember, enjoy this experience because he can play another 3 years if he wants to, and I believe he has all the capability in the world. It's just will he want to? Because we saw Aaron Donald go out at the peak of his game. Nobody saw that coming. And you kind of had that feeling in your heart where you're like, man, I wish I enjoyed that a little bit more because we weren't aware he was going to leave. And so, definitely think he has the capability to play more years. It's just is the desire there? Is the motivation there? They obviously have to revisit on contract in the offseason again. And so there's a lot of moving parts to it, but totally agree with you. And I'm glad that we're in a situation where we have more games past the regular season where it's we can enjoy more Stafford, hopefully into February. That'll be a big thing because I totally can see the storyline of him going out on top, winning a Super Bowl, getting MVP, finishing it there. But also is there that competitive side of him that's I want to keep going and see if I can do more. So really to your point, whatever happens, just enjoy it. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
I love it. You see the Stafford household has 5 females, 1 male. Might get us another year as Fam cornerback.
That's a good point. I never thought about it like
Yeah.
that.
Well, and like to credit, I think he loves playing for his daughters, right? Like that,
Agreed.
like,
Yeah.
and you saw that with Joe. Like Joe Flacco did a good job talking about it. That like he loves that he can keep playing at his age, so his kids can remember him playing, right?
Yeah.
And so
Definitely.
maybe that's motivation for Stafford to stick around till he's like 47.
Yeah. Definitely got to enjoy him. But as I talked about earlier, like this game, McVay did say right after the game that the starters are going to play against the Cardinals, even though this
Yep.
game almost means nothing. I think there's still some seeding to it. Like maybe the Rams can hold on to the 5th seed if they win and some other things happen. But there's not a ton on the line in this game.
Yeah, I think it's if the 49ers lose to the Seahawks and the Rams win versus the Cardinals, then the Rams get the 5th seed.
Okay. Yeah, but even that, like again, I really could care less if we play the Eagles, Bear, like whatever.
Yeah.
So there's not like a ton riding on this game, but we know at least for a half the starters are going to play this game. That's what McVay said.
Mhm.
So just kind of transitioning here, like what are your thoughts on the Rams Cardinals game here? Do you think there's going to be a good response from this team? How do you think they're going to play as far as how long starters are going to be in, and what's just kind of the vibe going into this game for you?
That's a really good question, and I honestly I think there's two kind of trains of thoughts that come to mind here.
Yeah.
Number one, I think the Rams are incredibly motivated to win this game, and number two, I think the Cardinals have kind of been on quit watch for a few weeks now.
Right.
I'm going to bring up the Cardinals schedule here, and I just this tells a lot here. Okay, can you see that? Okay.
It's pretty small, honestly.
Oh, here, let me zoom in. Sorry, my mistake.
All right, you good. There you go. That's better.
Okay, so
there we go.
Now of note, early in the year, the Cardinals have had some close games. There's a lot of L's here.
Mm-hmm.
That Monday night win versus the Cowboys I feel like that was the Cardinals Super Bowl right there.
Yeah.
But like they've had some close game. They got blown out by the Seahawks, by the Niners, OT with the Jags, blown out by the Rams, close game with Tampa, blown out by the Texans, close game with the Falcons, blown out by the Bengals. So maybe this is like if the pattern is there, maybe it's a close game. But
yeah,
like even you look at like Jacoby Brissett was putting up some pretty ridiculous numbers when he started playing for them, but then he's kind of cooled off. Like they struggle in the run game. Like Michael Carter had 29 rushing yards, right? So like that's why I say the Cardinals. I totally think they're on quit watch, which totally like it happens each year when teams fall out of contention and players start making some business decisions of like, okay, I want to play next year. You know what? Like we can't really win. We can't get in the playoffs, right? So I think that that's something to take into account here. I don't think that the Rams will lose this game, and so I'm not concerned for that reason. The only thing I'm like somewhat concerned about is if someone gets injured, right? Even if for some reason, maybe the Rams they start their starters and then pull them by halftime or something, and we just see McVay go super vanilla and be like, oh, okay, we're just going to lose this or something. Not that I think that's going to happen. They're not. It's not a preseason game. There is actually some sort of point to this, and I know a lot of people have been talking about last year when the Rams were vying for either the 3 or the 4 seed, and McVay was like, that really doesn't matter to me. We're going to rest starters, and that's when they went on to, win versus the Vikings. I think this is a little bit different just because he wants the Rams going into the playoffs hot. So I don't know. What are your thoughts going into this game?
Yeah, you bring up some good points with that. I think the quit watch is definitely a real thing, and it sounds lazy. It sounds like you're just like not paying attention to what they're doing. But like I would say the first half, maybe 3/4 of the season, the Cardinals were one of those teams where it's like, yeah, they've lost a lot of games, but they're keeping it close every time.
They're
They're keeping
feisty.
it competitive. Yeah, and that's just kind of what their identity was, even if they were losing. And it feels like they've just suffered from so many injuries, like all the from different positions at different points in this year, and a lot of guys that are key guys that have been missing on top of the year just being bad. And it does just feel like, I mean, I was kind of surprised when you pulled up that schedule of some of the close games they've had recently that I just didn't catch. Maybe it was like a blowout and then they came back at the end. I don't know. But that did surprise me just because it does feel like over the last handful of weeks, especially like since the Rams played them, they just haven't had that kind of fight that I was expecting.
Yeah.
Because even going into that last Rams game, I was like, I think this one's going to be closer than we think. It's going to be lower like scoring. They play us tough, and then it was a blowout. So it does kind of feel like they've just kind of given up. They've quit on the season. There's still those players out there that are playing well, like McBride, obviously just been dominating there, and
Yeah.
still players to watch out for. But it doesn't feel like this would be like a week 3 game in the regular season when they're still bought in. They're trying to win. The only thing I could think of is like players playing for their jobs, like trying to keep their jobs on that team and trying to finish the season strong. Like this is the last game for the Cardinals of the season until next year.
Yeah.
And so that could be another thing of like maybe they have a little bit more fight because they know it's their last game, or they could just be completely checked out. But regardless, I do feel good about this Rams team. I'm kind of on the side of like thinking that the Rams are going to play starters till halftime
Mhm.
and then pull them there just to get some momentum, especially if the Rams go up some scores early and they're like, oh, this is what we're supposed to look like. Let's put the backups in, because I don't think it's a hot take to say that the Rams backups could beat the Cardinals team right now. And like, I'm not even joking about that. Like, Jimmy Garoppolo is a good backup. We have some good depth at other positions, and the Cardinals just aren't that great on top of being beat up.
Yep.
So that's just kind of where my mind is at in this game.
Yeah. You mentioned Trey McBride, and I
Yeah.
honestly, I don't think there's a Cardinals fan out there that if they renamed the team to the Arizona McBrides would have a problem with that. Just because, yeah, he is a beast. Like, that's one thing. It's so when you look at the Cardinals and watch their highlights, you can't help but notice this massive, like juggernaut tight end that just seems to catch everything. So yeah, that he's a problem. He's a problem, right?
He is.
And I'm curious to see how the Rams handle that problem. I think the
Mhm.
best way to do it is get pressure on Jacoby Brissett. If if he can't get the ball to McBride, he's not going to catch it, right?
Mhm. I sorry, I'm just laughing at somebody in the comments here as a Cardinals fan says, "Bro, there's no way the Rams are beating the Cardinals. It's even a conversation." And then he says, "Sorry, I'm a Cards fan. Rams are going to destroy the Cardinals." So that's kind of where the Cardinals fan base is at with this game. I think, yeah, like there's players to watch out for, and a lot of us are going to focus on the offense getting back on track after a weird game against the Falcons, and I think that's where a lot of people's attention is at. For me, I kind of want this Rams defensive line to make a statement this game to head into the playoffs,
Yeah.
because last game they did do a good job of pressuring Kirk Cousins, and he only threw it like 20 times. Like he really didn't have to throw it all that much, but I thought that their pressure was better. But we've been talking about it, like we've been waiting for this Rams defensive line to have the kind of game that they were having to finish last year and into the playoffs. They just haven't been as dominant. And I think it's based on one of those things of like they have the talent there. If you can just get one of those games where you just break out, you get 5, 6, 7 sacks, like
Yeah.
somewhere in there, and that could just completely change momentum going to playoffs.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm hoping for. I'm like, whether we win this game or not, I hope our defensive line is beginning to realize their potential again and get back to what they're doing to end the year last year, because that will be important going into the playoffs. So you got to be able to get to the quarterback and pressure and do those things that championship teams do. So that's kind of what I'm looking for.
For sure. A couple of shout outs. We got Toon Link Maine in the chat. Good to see a Toon
Classic.
Link. And then we got Luna Zone in here going to this game. Have a great time, Luna, at the game. And I don't think you're bad luck, Luna. If anything, just make sure you cheer really loud for the Rams.
Yeah. Because this might be the last one at SoFi.
All right. Non-biased whale, which is a hilarious handle.
It's,
So one of our resident Cardinals fans, thanks for being here. I hope you're having a good day. Happy New Year. And saying he thinks that the Rams are going to lose to the Cardinals. Okay, interesting. And then Gemzy, good to see you, an Eagles fan, saying Rams are more likely to face the Eagles in the playoffs. I find it hard that Sean McVay is 1-6 against the Eagles as head coach. Yeah, the Eagles have had the Rams number, for a while now.
yeah.
And I'm excited to see. I'd be cool with the Rams versus Eagles rematch, but honestly, like I'm at the point now where like, dude, the Rams are in the playoff with expectations. Let's go, right?
Just play anybody.
Yeah.
I kind of find myself being like you, where I'm like, I don't care about seeding at this point. I don't care if the Rams are the 5 seed, the 6 seed. I don't care who they're playing. Let's just play playoff football.
Yep.
And that's definitely where I'm at. But it is crazy because Sean McVay has never beaten Nick Sirianni, which is really weird. Like we were obviously up 26-7 in that first game, then all the walls kind of fell through there. But there's not really a team there that I'm like, I'm scared to play this team. I think the NFC is really stacked and there are going to be close games, and I acknowledge that. But I don't think you can avoid any of these. Like, just play the best teams, go out there. If your team's good enough, you're going to beat them.
So like picture this. This could happen, okay? And if this happens, you heard it here first on First Down Rams. Rams play the Eagles, beat them in Philly. So the revenge tour, it starts. Then they go play the Seahawks in Seattle, beat them. Oh, all the Seahawks fans start crying. Love it. We bathe in their tears. Then NFC Championship game. It's in Santa Clara. The Rams take on the 49ers. If the Niners win, they go to the Super Bowl in their own stadium. But they don't win. Rams win. And then the Rams go on to the Super Bowl. Who do they face? New England Patriots. Who
love it.
Have hurt Rams before. We've been hurt before in the Super Bowl.
Multiple times.
Rams finalize the revenge tour by beating the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl. What do you think?
I wouldn't change anything about that. Just go out, win the Super Bowl. If you can do it against all those other teams that you need revenge on, sign me up for it. Like, I'm down.
So if this actually happens, December 31st, 2025, that's when this prediction. I don't want to call it a prediction, a dream. It's a dream.
It's kind of like the Troy Reader pick six thing. It's like it's more of a dream than it is.
That dream is still alive.
It is, to be fair. And we still have to get his jersey if he wins Super Bowl MVP somehow. But
absolutely.
So you're pretty confident going into this Cardinals game?
I am, just for and again, our resident Cardinals fan, non-biased whale is saying 45-13. I think that just summing it up, right? Like you don't need to kick the Cardinals while they're down. I think a lot of Cardinals fans have checked out on the season, except for like their hardcore fans that will always check them in, which I applaud any Cardinals fan who has watched the Cardinals play this year every game.
Yeah. Seriously, that takes some perseverance there on their end.
You're a true fan.
Yeah, like non-biased whale here. This is I need the Rams to win the Super Bowl so Stafford retires. Take McVay with him. I need them out of the West.
That's solid logic.
I understand that. Yeah, I don't think McVay is going to leave even if Stafford retires, but I can see the logic behind that, and I can understand. If we didn't have McVay and Stafford, I'd probably think the same thing, honestly.
Totally get that. Speaking of thinking of things, do you want to get to our segments that we've thought up of?
Yeah, I thought about this Over Rams action segment and had the topics made like 5 minutes before we came on. So this is a buzzer beater edition.
They're fresh.
Over Rams action Wednesday. Yeah, they're fresh. So I'm going to need all your guys' help in the comments as well as Payo Time, because if you guys haven't played our little Over Rams Action Wednesday game, it is basically what Rich Eisen and Christopher Brockman do on their Overreaction Monday podcast. Okay. And basically they are what you could deem as hot takes that I'm going to be pitching to you guys as the audience, and they're all going to be centered around the Rams. It's your guys' job to say if it's an Over Rams action or a hot take, or if it's a fair take, because these could kind of teeter on the edge here. So I'm going to need Peo's help, and he's here with me, and I'm going to need your guys' help in the comments because you guys are here with me as well. So let's get into over Rams action Wednesday. So I talked about earlier, I think that by halftime, the Rams are going to pull their starters, regardless of how the game's going, unless they're looking really sloppy. I think by halftime, they'll pull out some of the biggest names, like a Stafford, a Puka, all those kinds of guys. I'm going to say the Rams backups will score more points than the Rams starters this game.
Ooh. Okay, wait, I got to think. Rams backups will score more points than the Rams starter this game. So you guys in the chat, let us know your thoughts on this. My initial reaction to this is that's an over Rams action just because what truly classifies as a backup, right? Like you just based on the roster, you can't pull every single starter out of the game. So
like the big ones.
Do you consider Xavier Smith a backup?
I honestly, yeah, I could see him staying out there. I'm thinking like if Garoppolo comes in the game, Ronnie Rivers comes into the game, maybe we get Jarquez Hunter, like Jordan Whittington. Obviously, he gets started in there, but like Puka's not playing out there, Devontae's not playing out there, Colby Parkinson's not playing. Like the guys that we know, and then on the defensive side of the ball, like no Jared Verse, no Byron Young, like those big kind of names, those guys get pulled out. And the Rams are going to score more points with their backups than they do the starters.
You know, I'm going to say that's an over Rams action because I think if that happens, the Rams will have a sizable lead and just they'll go into kind of coast mode there. Okay. And I actually think the Cardinals might even just sort of go into coast mode themselves of like, oh, we're just here for a stroll. We don't want anyone to get hurt sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, the non-biased whale says Garoppolo will carve up the card secondary. I could see what you're saying. Like maybe it's a vanilla game plan. They're just trying to get out of there with it. Yeah. And so this one, I mean, I'm kind of leaning towards you. It's probably an over Rams action, but it also depends on how quickly they pull their starters. Like you never know. They could pull up by the end of the first quarter and there's still 3 quarters of football and the backups do well. So it's definitely going to be an interesting one to monitor, but that is how we're starting off the first one. The second one, a little bit more basic here. We really haven't seen much of Tutu Atwell in the biggest storyline with him, other than like the contract and why aren't they using him more. Last game was the potential pass interference that wasn't called against the Falcons. You could go back and forth on that. I'm saying for whatever reason, I'm just feeling it. This is the first game Tutu Atwell score a touchdown for the Rams since that Colts game. That was the last time he got in the end zone. Tutu's going to find the end zone again this game. Whether it be a deep one, whether it be a 5-yard one, he's going to get in the end zone.
That's not an over Rams action. That's not. Tutu Atwell. I know he gets. You know, there's people that they'll post their signs of like Tutu, where are you? But no, he's going to catch a train to the end zone. I don't think that's an over Rams action at all.
Okay. We got I think a 49er fan saying Tutu trash can. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, for some reason, it's almost like Kyron Williams against the Cardinals and how well he plays. I don't know why Tutu Atwell against the Cardinals just sounds right to me. Just like him scoring, him having a long one. It just feels like one of those games. No logic behind it, purely just vibes. So hoping for Tutu Atwell, he gets a touchdown in here. Maybe create some momentum going into the playoffs where he can get used a little bit more. We'll see.
Yeah.
Number 3. This one's fun. The Cardinals, sorry, non-biased whale. The Cardinals will have more punts this game than Colby Parkinson has catches for the Rams.
Oh. Okay, I want to say that's an over Rams action, but I have to think about this. Let me see. The Cardinals have they have like Brissett has been able to move the ball, but then again, like they have not been scoring a lot. Like, you know what? That's not an over Rams action. Like, listen to this. Last week against the Bengals defense, which is not a good defense, 14 points. Then they scored 19 against the Falcons before that, 20 against the Texans before that, 17 against the Rams, 17 against the Buccaneers. So it hasn't been since week 12 that they've scored over 20 points.
Wow.
So they've been
That's a crazy
punting
stat.
a lot.
That's kind of the logic behind this one here.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you actually took it, though. I thought you'd say it was an over Rams action. So I'm kind of in agreement with you on this one. Parkinson, I think he's going to sit around like 5 catches maybe this game. I think we see more than 5 punts from the Cardinals. But non-biased Will says Cardinals will have more turnovers than Parkinson catches. That's taking it a step further.
Yeah.
So, I mean, shout out to you for still watching the team if that's what you're thinking.
No, I have so much respect for non-biased Will for sticking with the team this far in the season.
Luna says yes, so that's not an over Rams action. 49er fan says, I doubt they even keep a field goal kicker on the roster. Wow, so people are down on these Cardinals. Non-biased Will also...
Isn't Josh McCarty their kicker now?
He is. That is an interesting storyline.
Oh, no, the revenge narrative.
He scores all their points.
Yeah.
Cardinals are the only team in the NFL that haven't scored 30 points this season.
Oh.
Man, that's sad for them. Wow. I kind of feel bad for them.
Yeah.
So that's a good one. It looks like everybody was in agreement with that one, which I thought we'd get a little strays, like going different ways. But number 4 here.
That was a fun one.
Trey McBride will have double the catches of Konate Mupfield, Jordan Whittington, and Terrence Ferguson combined.
I feel like that's disrespectful to Michael Wilson. Just to say, I don't think that's totally crazy. I think all 3 of them combined. Yeah, no, I'm going to say that's no Rams action. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have the timer on again?
Yeah, only that one apparently.
Oh, really?
I like that. Mums Dude is what the 49ers fan says. We like him too. Mike says Cardinals score 21 points, all field goals.
Just wait, imagine they're all like 60-yard field goals, all from Joshua Cardi, being like, what? You
That would be insane. That would just be like right in the Rams' face.
Right?
I don't think so. Very close though. Honestly, I feel like, let me pull this little one back up and turn off the timer so that people can see the banner. I think that this one isn't all that crazy because Trey McBride, like I think Michael Wilson will have more yards than McBride does, but I think McBride's going to get a boatload of catches again. Okay. I mean, didn't he just break the record for like catches for a tight end in the NFL?
I think so,
ever last week or something like that. So I think McBride's going to get a lot of targets. I think
Arizona
like
McBride,
Whittington, yeah, honestly, and Ferguson. Like I think that combination in particular, I don't think it's out of the question to say that he has more catches than them.
Yep.
But double catches. Now that I'm reading that, it's like maybe you don't go as far as to say he'll have double the catches as all 3 of them combined. But interesting to track here for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Number 5, the final one. So this is the regular season finale for SoFi Stadium and the Rams, unfortunately. But we get to have one more home game here. I'm saying no matter what seed the Rams get, this will not be the last SoFi Stadium home game for the Rams this season. Oh. Maybe something goes crazy in the playoffs. Like if the Rams get the 6th seed, they're going to have to count on the Packers to make the championship game or make a game to play the Rams. That's not super likely. But if the Rams get the 5th seed, you could maybe play the 6th seed at some point. I'm saying this is not the last SoFi Stadium game for the Rams this season.
That's pretty good. Whew. So if it's the 6th seed, you're trusting that the Packers would win against the Bears and then win against the Seahawks. I don't know if that's
good. But if they get the 5th seed, it's like you could have the Eagles come or you could have the Bears come, like, or the Niners too. So
because it would only be because if the Rams get the 5th seed, then that means the Niners would be the 6th seed.
Right.
So the only way it happens is either Green Bay goes on their miraculous 7th seed run, or if the Rams were the 5th seed, they would beat the NFC South winner. The 49ers would beat the Eagles, which, like, okay, that could happen. And then 49ers in that scenario would then play the Seahawks, beat them, and then the Rams would beat whoever there at the divisional round, and then they'd meet there, and the Rams would host the NFC Championship game as a 5 seed.
I don't think that's out of the question.
You know what? Now that we talked that out, that's not an over Rams. Like, that scenario could absolutely play out. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the most likely scenario. If this were to happen, it would be Niners Rams in the championship game all over again.
Yeah.
I don't see the Packers thing coming. I could be wrong on that. But I think that's kind of what I'm banking on. Like, Rams get 5th seed somehow. Like, Niners lose this weekend, Rams win this weekend, which is not out of the question. And these two teams meet in the NFC Championship game at SoFi Stadium all over again. So,
but
honestly,
I am realizing now, like, no matter what seed, like, whatever seed that the Rams get, it's actually difficult for them to play the Niners and the Seahawks, like whoever's going to be that 6th or 5th seed along with them. So, yeah, that's so interesting, huh?
Yeah. We got our Niners fans saying the path to the Super Bowl goes through San Francisco. Stop it.
Yeah, we'll see, man.
Not officially. We got a game on Saturday, Seahawks, Niners. That's going to be a really fun game.
You know, as a football fan, I'm stoked for that game.
Me too. It's like these are two divisional teams, obviously, but I'm excited for that game.
Yeah.
We're doing this for Bosa and Warner. So we'll go to Grandizer's comment here real quick, and then we can transition to your what's more likely, but it's just the Rams. He says, "Hey, Peo and Rams House, Happy New Year's Eve. Do you both feel kind of depressed about this game? The Cards not playing for anything, banged up team. I don't really feel depressed about the Falcons game, if that's what he's referencing. But, oh, wait, no, he's just saying because, like, there's not a lot on the line for this game. I see where he's coming from. It's a Rams game, so I'm not feeling depressed going into it. Like, the Falcons game didn't have many stakes in it, and I was still excited just to watch the Rams play. So, for me, no. What are your thoughts, Peo?
Yeah, I same way. And, like, you know, the good thing about playing on Monday night is you don't have to wait as long to see your team play again, because, you know, when we played on Thursday and then played on a Monday, it seemed like forever. So I'm just excited for that. And like we were saying earlier, just want to treasure, you know, all the Rams games that we have left before the season comes to an end, right?
Right. Yeah. So we're both in the same boat here, but
too blessed to be stressed.
Honestly, my question is, are we going to both be in the same boat for the what's more likely, but it's just the Rams? That's kind of what I'm curious about. And there's only one way to find out.
There is only one way to find out. And we're going to get right to it here. So everyone here, appreciate you hanging out with us on New Year's Eve. Happy New Year. Whether you're going out, staying in, whatever it is you're doing, thank you for, you know, making us part of your day. This is a game we like to play called What's More Likely, where I'll bring up 2 scenarios and I'll ask Rams House and the chat which situation do you think is more likely? And it's a ripoff of the Rich Eisen show, but flattery, you know, that's what it is. Okay, so this is What's More Likely, but it's just the Rams.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, chat. You ready? You ready? All right. We're actually going to start off here. I see Porter started a good What's More Likely here to start us off. So Porter is kicking us off with this. What's more likely? Stafford 5 touchdown passes or Puka 200 yards in this game? What do you think?
It's hard because I don't think both of them I don't think play the whole game. But I'm just going to assume in this scenario that they both play the full game. If that's the case, I'm going to go Puka 200 yards. He had a really good game against the Cardinals last time. I think he had close to 170 yards, right, against the Cardinals last time. So I'd go Puka there.
Yeah. And thank you for this question. We do kind of shame people that say both. We pick a lane, right?
It's a thing. Yeah, it's a thing.
Just kidding. You can pick both if you want to. But you know, it's more fun when you pick. Yeah, he said 5 touchdowns if I have to choose. Yeah,
there we go. He picked a lane.
Come on, pick a lane, right?
Yeah,
Luna says Puka 200 agrees with you. Okay, so my first, what's more likely? But thank you, Porter, for that one.
that was a good one.
What's more likely? The Rams go undefeated in 2026 until at least next September, or Stafford wins MVP and does not retire. If you want me to rephrase this, what's more likely? The Rams win the Super Bowl or Stafford wins MVP and does not retire? This one's. I know you want both to happen.
I do, but I can't say both.
I know. Yeah, pick a lane. Pick a lane.
Let's see. And I would say, unfortunately, MVP and does not retire because as much as I love the Rams and I think they can beat anybody, I also realize that there's a lot of good teams in this playoff thing, and like Niners, Seahawks. If we run into them, like those are tough teams, and it's going to be close. And let's see. So are you saying if the Rams win the Super Bowl, like if they win the Super Bowl, you're saying Stafford can't win MVP and does retire, or what's the?
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
That's where I'm stuck.
He in this scenario, he could potentially not win MVP and not retire.
Okay, so he can win the Super Bowl, not retire.
Yeah.
I'll go that then.
Okay, I like it. Won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, there's a lot of layers to that one.
Yeah. You know, I maybe overthought that one. My bad. That's on me. That's on me, Coach.
Hey, you made me think. I like it.
That's on me. Makia says Super Bowl, and you know, our 49ers fan is saying Purdy MVP. Who again? Purdy is looking really good right now. All right, next one. What's more likely to be mentioned first by the broadcast crew during the game? The Rams winning a home playoff game in Arizona last season, or the Cardinals moving on from Kyler Murray in the offseason?
Rams winning a home playoff game in Arizona. How would that happen?
No, that's what happened last year. Remember the Cardinals?
I do.
Yeah.
I just have to. So wait, I'm just trying to repeat it again in my brain here.
So, like, what's more likely to be mentioned by the commentators in this game coming up? And like, what's more likely to be mentioned first? The Rams winning a home playoff game in Arizona last season versus the Vikings, or the Cardinals moving off of Kyler Murray coming in to this season?
I go first one. I think that's more likely because the Kyler Murray stuff, like, there's definitely smoke to that, but there's not like any official, like, the team said that they're moving on from him. And I think that storyline of the Rams playing, although like they had their opportunity to do that in the first matchup because they actually played in Arizona. But yeah, I would say the first one. What would you say?
Yeah, Luna's agreeing with you, and Makila is agreeing or is saying Kyler, and I actually think Kyler. I think
really?
that there's just something because the Cardinals, like, this is the most media attention they're going to get in a long time just because of kind of the nature of like the playoffs and stuff like that. So I could see this game early on, like on the first drive that the Cardinals are out there, they do a pan shot to Kyler Murray in street clothes. And, you know, I don't know what commentators are on this game, but they're just going to be like, oh yeah, Kyler Murray looks on. This could be his final game as a Cardinal. And he's wearing street clothes or something, right? Like I could see something like that happening, right?
I could, yeah. And I feel like that Rams like winning a playoff game in Arizona could be one of those like digging into the blowout material things in the third or fourth quarter of like, well, if you guys remember, like Rams are up by 20 points and they bring that up. I just think like there's not enough concrete evidence for like the big media to think that this is happening, like them moving on. I think the Cardinals fans and us in the NFC West are probably paying more attention to it. But just because there hasn't been any statements of like Kyler Murray's frustrated or whatever, I'd go first one. But I think that's a good sneaky little what's more likely there.
Yeah, I like to keep it. And Luna is confessing that that he's saying I lied. The second one, okay, yeah. So Luna,
he's abandoning me.
Yeah, he agreed with me that time.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, what's more likely? And again, I really think the Cardinals should consider renaming their team to the Arizona McBrides. But
Yeah.
what's more likely? Trey McBride has more catches than all Rams tight ends combined in the game, or Kyron Williams has more than double the Cardinals' entire backfield this game.
I'm going second one.
Yeah.
First one's a good option, but because of how bad the Cardinals' run game is, they had a big game recently. I think against the Texans. I'm trying to remember which game it was, but I think that Kyron's going to have a more than double than the Cardinals do. Because like, what was that number that you looked at recently on their schedule? It was like 32 yards rushing or something. Recently,
They had 29 against the Bengals.
29. And I mean, part of that is the fact that like they're trailing by a lot. You can't really be running the football if
Sorry,
you're
I
trying to
should
come
say
back.
their lead back had 29, Michael Carter.
Lead
I don't know
back,
about the
okay.
rest of the backs.
I still go Kyron though. I
Okay.
mean, I kind of feel like starters get pulled a little bit early, but assuming they play the whole game, I would still go Kyron.
Yep. Luna agrees. So does McKill. I also agree. Kyron Williams is kind of known as a Cardinal killer a little bit. And last time the Rams and Cardinals played, Blake Corum had a pretty big game. But
He did.
yeah, I think that I think Kyron keeps that title of a Cardinal hunter.
Yeah. Well, last game between like against the Cardinals, Kyron and Corum, I think had above 200 rush yards put together.
Yep.
So yeah, I can see it.
Okay, these I have three more.
All right.
I dug deep for these. I dug deep. Okay. I
All
took my shovel and I dug and I dug and I dug and I came up with these. What's more likely? Tutu Atwell gets a touchdown in this game, or Ethan Evans pins the Cards inside the 4-yard line. And your previous over-Rams action kind of leads me to think you might think Tutu Atwell. But what are your thoughts?
It's funny how we're kind of timing up on some of these ones. I think, I am feeling Tutu this game. I don't know why. So I'm going to go Tutu. Ethan Evans is incredible. Maybe the Rams won't have to punt it a lot. We'll see. We'll see what ends up happening. But I'm going Tutu just because for some reason this just feels like a game that Tutu goes off or just has a big play, whatever.
Okay. Blake is saying, give me Atwell. All right.
Let's go, Blake.
Yeah. Bacon Mom's good to see you, man. And he thinks that McBride will have more catches than all Rams tight end. That's interesting. Saying Ethan may not punt. Yep, that's true. And Luna, who is going to the game, saying Ethan Evans is going to is somehow outdo that punt versus that'd be cool.
I don't know how you can outdo that one.
It's literally the most perfect punt I've ever seen in my life. Yeah,
and it doesn't get talked about enough.
It doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Yeah, I wish that one was in the primetime Seahawks game, so everybody could just bask in the glory of the perfect punt.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Final two here. What's more likely? Oh, you're getting water.
I am.
You're ready. What's more likely? We see Jimmy G throw a touchdown pass this game, or we see Sean Dolak force a fumble.
I'm going Jimmy G. I like where you're going though with that.
Yeah.
I just think Jimmy G is going to get in the game, and I think he's going to throw a touchdown, probably like a 5 or 10 yard slant, something like that. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Okay. I actually think Sean Dolak forcing a fumble is more likely.
I would like that. I mean, they're all punching at the ball. They learned from Landon, so I like that. I'm going Garoppolo though because I think I don't think Stafford's going to play the whole game.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. Nikhil is saying Himmy G. Himmy G. Luna, I'm sorry to hear that. I didn't know that about Jimmy. That's unfortunate. But okay, that's interesting. All right, my final one. Okay.
Here we go.
Okay.
Oh no.
Show favorite Troy Reader won. Okay, what? Compose yourself, okay? The final what's more likely for me for 2025. It's currently 1 hour before midnight where I live. So I'm coming in hot.
Mm-hmm.
What? What? No, sorry. What? Gotta keep it straight, right? What's more likely? Troy Reader does something of celebration, like he forces a fumble, he intercepts, gets a touchdown, blocks a field goal, anything, makes a big tackle, like anything, something of note. Troy Reader literally does anything of note in this game versus the Cardinals, or we see Stafford hug Kyler Murray on camera after the game.
What? So wait, they'd be on the field, right?
Yeah. Like, you know how
I'm
after
gonna have
the
to
game,
go. Yeah, I'm gonna go Troy Reader actually because I don't know if I can picture Stafford hugging Kyler Murray. I think if anything, they like dap each other up, maybe. But a hug, I don't know. I'm gonna go
like a
Troy
bro
Reader.
hug or something. Like,
Yeah,
they do that after the game. Like they're all
I
like the
can't
game is
picture
over.
that.
If I change it to just like a basic like Stafford and Kyler Murray exchange general pleasantries after the game.
No, actually, I'm gonna stay with Troy Reader
Yeah.
because I think Kyler might just go straight to the locker room. I don't really know if he's. I don't know. I'm gonna actually go with Troy Reader here. Do you see Luna's call?
Luna's, I love Troy Reader. He's gonna throw a touchdown.
The real backup quarterback, Troy
Yeah.
Reader.
McKeel is saying hug for sure, unless you count Reader leading a touchdown dance celebration.
I will say one thing that Reader has done really well this year is the special teams tackling, especially on like the kick coverage. He has had a few big hits on those coverage plays, and he seems to be in the right spot there. So as long as he stays in that role, I'm happy. He did get a little bit of action against the Falcons when Landman went out.
Yeah,
And I'm sure you were thinking in your head it would be a pick six when he walked in there, but
it crossed my mind. It crossed my mind. If we get the Troy Reader pick six, I will go back to our first live stream. I will make an entire video of the Troy Reader pick six dream that is still alive as long as he puts on a Rams jersey.
Yeah, he's got to do it before he retires, right?
Yeah. Reader 101 yard to Landman touchdown before halftime, or maybe just a pick six. I'll take it, Luna. I'll take it.
Whichever way it comes, we'll take it. That was a good one, though. That one, I can see why you were laughing at that.
I had to keep a straight face in that. Yeah, but
yeah.
We got a couple of questions coming here for the Grandizer, but thanks everyone for doing what's more likely. We have a lot of fun with that, so appreciate everyone playing along. Grandizer's got a couple of questions here. It says, will the Ram fans finally get to see fourth round Jaquez Hunter from Auburn? Is he even close to active? I'm going to say no.
Really? I'm going opposite.
Really? Okay. I feel like they're content having him. This is a redshirt year for him, just learning, and like maybe we see him in the preseason next year, but I don't think so. Barring injury.
Yeah. Why? Because Blake Corum got hurt against the Falcons.
Yeah, okay, fair. Yeah.
He may not play this game. I still I keep saying it. I don't think the starters are going to play past halftime. So I think you could see Jimmy Garoppolo and then Ronnie Rivers and Jarquez Hunter as like the running backs back there. And so if it were a normal game where the Rams are going to play their starters all the way through, or a playoff game even bigger, I'd say definitely not. But given the circumstances, I think Hunter is actually going to get in for some reps this year.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. No. Okay. You bring up a good point. Yeah. Bring up a point. Granddad's next question is: will Rams break any milestones with this last game if they're not being sat down? And I know the Rams Wire, they posted a article about it. And so they had 5 milestones. Kyron Williams is 1 yard away from 1,300 yards.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Puka Nacua is 10 yards away from 1,000 yards.
He's got more than 1,000, right? Puka Nacua? He's at like at 1,500 or 1,400, somewhere around there, right?
Oh wait, this article's old. My bad. My bad.
Oh, you're
Sorry.
good. You're good.
Yeah, wait. Okay, sorry. Maybe my bad. Wow. Thanks for
Well,
catching that. And as I was reading that, I was like, wait, that's not right. Okay.
yeah. Fact check this website here.
Yeah, no, well, it's the Rams wire. They're good. They're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, to be
Um,
fair, Puka Nakua, I think, has a chance to be the league leader in receiving yards this game. If he
true.
can't, he'd have to have a big game because I think JSN's going to have a big game against the 49ers. So he'd have to have a big one, but there's a chance that Puka could be the leading receiver after this game is done across the entire NFL when it comes to yards. So that'd be a big one.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Okay. So Puka going for the receiving title. I think Stafford could probably get the passing title still.
Oh, yeah, definitely for touchdowns. He's at like 41 touchdowns right now.
Okay. I'm just looking at ESPN
42,
here. Okay.
actually.
So Stafford is less than 40 yards away from Dak for the passing yards leader.
Okay.
So that's in play.
Wait, you should screen share this one.
Oh, my bad. Yeah.
No, you're
sharing is carrying. My bad.
It is.
Okay. Did you share this? Okay. There we go. Yeah. Can you see?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So Dak's at 4,482. Stafford's at 4,448.
Okay.
So that's doable.
That's close.
Yeah. Rushing, I don't think Kyron's gonna get in there. Here's Puka. So Smith and Jigba's 1,709. And
He's about 70 yards ahead.
Yeah, so about that to Puka there. Don't see there.
Byron Young could have, I don't know how many sacks he's sitting at right now, but maybe he gets to 15.
We'll look at that here. Let me see. Sacks. Byron Young is at 11. He's tied with Josh Sweat for 9.
Okay.
So he'd need probably 12 sacks to break the all-time sack. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right. In this game alone.
Yeah. And no one's interceptions. Okay, so that's kind of where we're at in terms. Wait, what about tackles?
I was gonna say, is Nate Landman getting close to breaking the Rams tackle record, or is he like 30
We're gonna find that out here. Okay, NFL.com is better for this.
I'm gonna guess he's like 30 tackles away from the Rams record. Because he's kind of recently hasn't had like huge tackle games. I still remember against the Ravens, Nate Landman earlier this year had like 17 tackles or 18 tackles, and he set the new Rams record. I'm curious how many he's at right now, though. I don't think he's on pace to breaking the tackle record, but
just looking it up here.
Okay.
Yeah, because Nate Landman against the Ravens, he set the franchise single game record for tackles.
Right.
With 17. Yeah.
That was an insane performance. And he had to punch out. We love ourselves some Nate Landman.
Absolutely.
What a guy.
I don't know if I've ever seen a free agent get signed to a veteran minimum deal and just win over the fan base, the front office, the team. Like he became captain, right? Like,
yeah.
If you're ever wondering how to have the best free agent 1 year prove a deal possible as a linebacker, look at Nate Landman.
Yeah, because didn't Zach Bond do that for the Eagles last year too? It was like he was a veteran that was brought in, cheap deal, like a special teamer in the past, and then he just kind of blew up. That was like, it's crazy how it happened back to back years.
Yeah. I'm not finding a consistent list for tackles here specifically. Like James Laurinaitis had 117 tackles in 2012. So that's
didn't Ernest Jones set the new Rams tackle record in 2023? It's right. Either that or Bobby Wagner did, but it one of the two, and it was like 145 or something.
Oh, you know what? You're right. That's combined. This is James Laurinaitis for solo tackles.
Solo, okay.
117 combined.
Because Cam Curl has the most solo tackles on the Rams right now, I think, by
Yeah,
a pretty
you're right.
big
You're right.
margin.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, interesting.
Yeah, Nate Landman has 129 total tackles right now. And I think the Rams record is sitting somewhere around like 145 or
Okay,
146.
so that's maybe a tall ask.
I just repeat the Baltimore game experience, and he's going to do it.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Oh,
Ooh.
yeah. Uh, he needs 2 touchdowns to pass Dan Marino, 7 to pass Old Man Rivers. Yeah.
This is like the perfect segment for Sheriff Joe Bags and Rams Showcase because he always does a milestone update every episode of like what Rams players are going to pass former ones or in the kind of like legacy conversation things. Is
Well,
is McVay still looking for his 100th career win?
he is.
That's a big one.
Because I remember he could have got it versus the Seahawks and the Falcons, but unfortunately it didn't work out. Stafford did jump up over Ben Roethlisberger and Phillip Rivers. He's now 6 all-time passing yards.
Wow. That's insane.
And
yeah, honestly the biggest one coming into this could probably be McVay getting his 100th win as a coach.
Yeah.
That one, that's great because, that one came up a few weeks ago, but the Rams didn't play a game for a while, and then they lost the, obviously, Seahawks and the Falcons. So he could close out the regular season with his 100th career win as a coach, which would be pretty cool.
Hey, XC, good to see you, yo. And I want to put in this comment here by Luna. I think Mevis is going to get a huge kick this just to show Cardi how to do it. Could you imagine if this game like turns into like this kicker battle of like Mevis versus Cardi?
Yeah.
And, this like 18-15 win or something.
Yeah, that would be insane. And like even it goes into overtime and it's like a kickoff where they just keep on like matching point. That would be funny. Ooh, do you want to address this one, Grandizer? About he said maybe last question. Did you cover the Hall of Fame and Holt in the last stretch? Maybe getting in. Your thoughts on like Torrey Holt? We all know as Rams fans has been a finalist for years and years, but just keeps missing it. What are your thoughts on that? And do you think he's going to make it this year, Peo?
Did the finalists they got announced recently, right?
Yeah, Holt was one of them.
Yeah, I missed that. Okay, wait, let me see.
I think off the top of my head, I know for sure Luke Kuechly was in there. Drew Brees was in there. Torrey Holt. Those are like the 3 that came to mind. I know that those are some finalists. As far as like why he hasn't made it, I don't really know why he hasn't made it because I feel like he's deserved to get in for years now. And we're waiting for that like greatest show on turf to finally be cemented in the Hall of Fame officially. So I don't really know why they've held him out because he keeps being a finalist, but something about this year feels like is the one he gets into me.
I hope you're right. I'm scared he's going to get snubbed again.
That's fair. I mean, we've had it happen so many times. You got to prepare.
You got Reggie Wayne there, and you also have Larry Fitzgerald.
That's a big one, yeah.
Yeah.
So wait, how many Hall of Fame players can get in out of the finalists? Like how much? What's the minimum?
I forget.
Or maximum?
Let's see. Okay. So they started with 128 nominees, and then it's cut down to 52, then 26, and then to 15. And then let's see. They don't say how many actually get in.
I think it changes year on. Like, I don't think it's just a set number of like 10 get in every year. I don't think that's the way it works. Because then
maybe they just really like Torrey Holt because he's such a cool guy, and they're just like, man, we want to keep him like, always in the Hall of Fame limelight. So like, just by snubbing him, they keep him relevant, right? Like,
right. Yeah, I don't know. I know there's some big names here he's gotten snubbed in years past. I think that this is actually the year he makes it, but we'll see what happens. I'm just surprised he hasn't gotten into this point.
Dude, if he does get it, I am so stoked for Torrey Holt's like induction speech.
I know. What will that be like after like all the disappointments of not making it in?
Yeah.
Like that'd be insane.
Well, and like who's all in there from the Greatest Show on Turf era? You got Isaac Bruce, you got Orlando Pace, Kurt Warner, Marshall Faulk is in there.
Yeah.
Torrey needs to get in.
He does. And this is what Grandizer says. This is the debate I heard about Holt is that he was a wide receiver 2 on the greatest show on turf. So the debate is, when does a wide receiver 2 get into the Hall of Fame? I've heard that too. It's like there's so many other great players and weapons around him and such a great offense where it's like it's not one guy carrying, but like why does it have to be? He was dominant.
He was so good. And it's tough because truly Holt and Bruce were like 1A, 1B. Right?
Yeah. There wasn't like a clear like one guy above the other for sure.
And like I guess you could say that like Bruce, because he was a little bit older, was more in the prime of his career during that greatest show on turf era. And like Torrey Holt, like I actually think Torrey Holt made some bad quarterbacks look good throughout his career, especially later on.
Yeah. I feel like that argument kind of goes back to like the Stafford MVP thing when people are like, Stafford shouldn't get the MVP because he has Puka and Devontae Adams and Sean McVay calling. It's like, well, you're still an insanely good player.
Yeah.
And like Stafford's elevating people. I believe that Torrey Holt was elevating things. It's not like you just throw any receiver out there next to Isaac Bruce and it would be the same result. Like he was still phenomenal.
Yeah. Sure. Well, thank you, Grandizer, for all your questions. And I think we are coming to the end of our show here. And Ramsos, thank you so much. This show has been one of my favorite things that we've done in 2025. And I'm excited to keep doing it in 2026.
Yeah, same to you. It's been so much fun. Can't wait to continue to do this with you. And as we talked about before, it's like this show would be fun in and of itself, but adding in the live chat and people being able to have discussions about the Hall of Fame and to be able to contribute in our segments, like you guys make it even more fun than it would be if it was just us two. So appreciate all of you guys joining us, especially on a New Year's Eve. And hopefully you guys have a blessed 2026 and continue just to win some more Rams games, hopefully here as we head into the playoffs. And yeah, we'll be here back next Wednesday. The crazy thing is next Wednesday, we're going to be previewing a playoff Rams game.
Oh, man.
That's going to be a lot of fun. So you guys are not going to want to miss that. Thank you guys all for coming in. Hope you guys have a great day. Horns up and God bless, and pay away.